what you have to realize is that there's two words that get used a lot to describe what we are as human beings. One is human, which means humane. You have to be humane to other people. Try to put humanity back in being human. Try to be humane about things. That's something that I'm not going to go into. But the second one is the word person. Okay, we're called person. Mm-hmm. The etymology of this word is from persona, and you've heard persona before. And persona comes from the Greek word, which means mask.
Right.
And there was a question I would always ask on each magic milkshake machine. Is everything behind the mask?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I was talking about. I was talking about persona. Persona literally means the mask. So, we get into these things with ego. There's an ego that exists. There's what we feel inside. There's a thing we project. There's a thing that we feel gets injured. And it all deals with emotional intelligence. We become different people at the speed of light. We become a different person every few seconds.
Sure.
And I'll give you an example. Now, every day, and this is hopefully something you could relate to, and pardon me because I am quite blunt in my things when I talk about stuff like this, but we wipe our butts every time we take a crap, right? Well, let's hope we do.
Sure.
Now, I don't know what they do in England or Canada.
Or they use the water.
Yeah, they use the water, a bidet or whatever. But we wipe our butts with toilet paper in the United States. Okay, we wipe our butt, dog poop with a tissue. I don't know why, but that's what we do. Now, do you think with your mind, I'm grabbing the toilet paper, okay, I'm wadding it up, okay, I'm wiping my butt now? No. You do these things, and then you think, oh, maybe I pulled too much out.
Yeah.
You
Oh, maybe
do
I got
a
some
video
on my
game.
hand. I got the poo on my hand.
Right.
I better wash my hands because I'm
The thought
dirty.
comes after the action.
Sure.
There's parts of us that are deep down in our subconscious mind that we use and we generate these types of actions with. So let's think about intuition, the intuition process. Some people think they're intuitive. They think they're intuitive, but actually what happens is when they're thinking about, okay, I think this would be the best path to do, what it actually is happening in the background is all these parallel scenarios are working themselves out unbeknownst to your conscious mind, and then based on those outcomes, you deduce, an opinion based upon all those possible scenario outcomes. And so what happens in a mind like this is there's a disconnect that happens between a real world and a fantasy world. Let me just try to come at this from the Wiggly world, because I had a suicidal father. In fact, he was so suicidal that he succeeded in suicide. And let me tell you a little bit about an insight on a suicidal mind, a person that has had a disconnect occur in their processing. And that is that my father loved me. He thought that I would be hooked up for life.
Right.
He had a life insurance policy. And
Sure.
if he did that, I'd be hooked for life, which, of course, I saw zero of his life insurance policy. And, you have to realize that this was in the 70s, so there weren't all these clauses for suicide and everything else like that in there at this time. But even this guy who wanted the best for me, wanted all the best for me. You want to talk about seeing a guy strangle his wife. I saw that all the time.
Right.
But here's a guy that we would have to run from the house from when he would go get the gun, because he would shoot at us. In fact, when he did commit suicide, finally, he lived in an apartment. He was estranged from my mother at the time, but my grandfather, my poppy, and his brother went over to his apartment because he had taken some sleeping pills and tried to off himself that way earlier in the night. And the cops wouldn't do anything about it. And before he shot himself in the heart, he pointed the gun at my poppy. He said, "Get out of the room, old man, or I'll kill you too." So you have to understand that this is, unfortunately, when someone is in this type of mindset, there's not a lot of mind going on, and anything is possible to someone in this condition. So, if you ever feel like hurting yourself or others, dial the crisis hotlines immediately. If you don't know what the crisis hotline numbers are in your area, dial 911, and I don't know what it is in other countries, but you dial 911 and you say, "Listen, I feel like hurting myself, I feel like hurting others." And so please come over
Right.
here. When you have a family emergency, I don't care what the hell it is. If you have some type of crazy fantasy-based belief system in place, I don't care. If you feel like hurting yourselves or others, that is a wrong type of feeling. Call 911 if you're serious about it. Call 911, and people will be there to help you through whatever the hell it is.
Exactly.